Up next.
Hello everyone, my name is Lily and I'm the creative director here at Bubblegum Cartoons. Today we are not going to be animating our original web series Demonic Crepes. We are going to be going in the field, quite literally, to do some drawing. Today I'm going to be sketching some horses so I can get better at horse anatomy, and what is better than a live model. So I'm also going to be showing you guys how I pack my traveling art bag. My friends and I are planning a very future trip to London, and I was thinking about art journaling while I was there, so I wanted to kind of experiment beforehand how to have a convenient yet fulfilling bag of art materials. About a year ago, my friend Asia and I decided that we wanted to get better at drawing horse anatomy, so we decided where better to do that than Disneyland, but we were a bunch of doofuses and we totally didn't realize that the horses were only there in the morning, so we just kind of sat on a bench in the hub and we just kind of like chatted like old ladies, and that was super fun itself. Immediately after those weeks, disaster struck and we weren't allowed to go anymore. So we never really did get to draw those horses together. So today I am venturing out to draw some horses. All right, let's pack our traveling art kit. Let's start off with obviously the art supplies. So I'm gonna pick out a couple things that I know I'm probably gonna reach for. Keep in mind, you might not want anything too fancy or flashy or messy because you're gonna be all handheld. I know I personally was just kind of sitting in the field. I didn't have a desk or anything, so kind of keep that stuff in mind. So I just picked out some pencils mostly because I really like just light pencil sketching on the go. You can obviously bring your iPad and just draw on Procreate if you like. I also brought some paintbrushes and this Winsor Newton watercolor set. I ended up actually ditching this and exchanging it for watercolor pencils because I just thought it was a little bit less of a mess, that I didn't have to have the water out and everything like that. So I decided to swap those out. I also brought an eraser because, you need an eraser, that's always nice. And feel free to bring like a couple colored pencils for shading or anything else. I ended up only really using a coal erase pencil, which if you are an animator, you know that these are very, very popular among our community. Next up, you could bring a sketchbook if you like. However, I didn't have any that were small and portable enough and that weren't too bulky, so I will be making my own little paper packet. Now this is super easy, anyone can do this. I basically took a bunch of different kinds of paper. So I took watercolor paper in case I wanted to do watercolor, and I brought sketch paper in case I felt more like sketching. So that way it gives me two different mediums that I can do without, bleeding through the paper or anything like that. So what I did was I divided these in half because that was about the size of my bag that I wanted to fit them in, and then I measured them halfway through and then marked them with a pencil. I did this on the back with less of the tooth. That way, if like a little bit of pencil still kind of shows through your cut lines, it won't really disturb your art. So what I did from here is I just kind of like cut it through, and then I stacked all the papers on some spare cardboard I had lying around, and then I clipped it all together. I had that cardboard obviously just so in case, because you don't have a table, you want kind of a hard back. So that's why I did that, and then I put a little clip on there and it is ready to go. And now I just kind of got this old bag I used to wear in high school. It's kind of just an over the shoulder, won't get in the way, has tons of pockets, and it also has a lot of extra room since I brought a jacket, took it off. So there's going to be a lot of like little minutia of you don't know what you're going to need to have space for. So yeah, I packed it away in this black bag. Not the cutest, but again, I am not in my usual space, so I kind of used what I got. Since it is the mud season here in the wetlands, I did decide to put on my clunky winter boots. Now, it kind of sucks to put on these winter boots because they are really heavy. However, I'd rather not slip on the ice and get stuck in the mud than have easy walking shoes. So definitely keep in mind where you'll be going, how far you'll be going, and what you might be facing ahead. Before I do that, I decided that on my walk, I would like to go and visit my best friend, Marcy, who lives just down the street from me. I like to surprise her with lunch sometimes because I think it really makes her day. I'm kind of like her Uber Eats, but she didn't order anything and she's not expecting me. I think it's a nice little way to show your friends that you care, and especially because she works really hard, I want to make sure that she doesn't have to worry about, prepping lunch or anything like that. We are both plant-based, so I made her a avocado cucumber sushi roll with spicy sauce. I also cut these little carrots into blossoms because spring is here, so that was a nice fun touch. I added some soy sauce in the middle, and it was time to go surprise my friend. After dropping those off, I could finally make my way to the Meadow. All right, so now next we're gonna be packing our bag with our human essentials. This is stuff that you're just gonna need to have a comfortable art experience out in the wild. So first, I just kind of have Marcy's sushi lunch that I made for her. I have headphones to listen to some music because it's gonna be a long walk. I have, of course, my face mask. Even though I'm outside, I will still be wearing one because it is March of 2021. Next up, I have a granola bar because your girl has low blood sugar almost all the time, so please don't forget to bring some snacks. I also got this awesome collapsible water bottle from my friend Marcy for my birthday, Christmas, so I will be bringing that as well. I'm using this to drink, and then also you can use it for watercolor, but not at the same time. And with that, we are ready to go. So you guys, this was such a special treat. I really was just hoping to get a glimpse of the horses. I've walked in this meadow for about a year now, every now and then during my time here, and I've only gotten glimpses of them, but they walked right up to me. It's the first time we've ever met, and they were so sweet. I didn't know their names, so I decided to call them Oak and Cedar, and they were really sweet. Cedar in particular was really bossy. Let's go over to Oak really quick before Cedar catches. Oh no, Cedar caught up. And there's brambles. I can't get through here. This way. Here we go. Oh, good job. Here you go. Oh, yeah, I didn't want to make that mistake again. But they were cute all the same, and so I had this great balance of feeding them grass from the field since they had already picked over their grass, and while I fed them, they let me draw them, so I could really get this like very up close look at them, and I learned so much from Cedar and Oak. They were really sweet, and I could get some up close shots of like their eyes, their head shape, and I learned so much. I got like fur patterns. Definitely take it in more as a flow, and don't be so worried about details or aesthetic. A lot of times they say like don't even post your artwork because it's not about your human or horse figure artwork. It's about what you learned from it. So even though, as you can see in my final product, it got like really muddy because I was like all in the dirt with those horses, it's not, even if I lost it on the way home, if it fell down a drain, if a horse ate it, it really doesn't matter because your art is more about what you learned from it and what you can apply to it later than, you know, showing it off, being cute for Instagram, if you know what I mean. And with that, I said farewell to my beautiful Cedar and Oak. They were so very sweet, and it was such a treasure to finally get to draw horses, and the fact that they came up to me was so sweet. I'm glad that they got to have a little snack, and soon after I was kind of done, I felt so bad because they're so cute. You don't want to leave them and cut them off because they really like the grass that I picked out. But luckily, their lady friend came over and she brought them some bridles, and so they went to go for a ride, which was just as well because I was ready to get going. I ended up only really using the Cola Race pencil because it was super easy and I could really jot down things very quickly. I didn't do the watercolor because I was really juggling feeding the horses so they kept like their interest, and also I wanted to draw at the same time, so I kind of had this quick back and forth. I didn't do any erasing because, especially with animation sketches, you kind of let it flow. If something messes up, don't worry about it. Just turn the page, ignore it, whatever. I found the paper packet that I made to be very useful. As you can see, I was kind of drawing on my knees and on the ground and stuff like that. So having that backing was super helpful. All right, and so I made my way home through the fields and meadows and such, and I had a really, really good time. I was so lucky to spend time with Cedar and Oak, or whatever their real names are. And I highly recommend getting out there and drawing. Even if you don't have a forest nearby or anything like that, you can always go to a safe, uncrowded place nearby and just sit around and draw. I personally don't care if people stop by and look at my art because, like I said, it's not really about the piece itself. It's about what you personally are learning from it and what you take away from this time.
I mean, look at what I've accomplished. Do you see him? Do you think a depressed person could make this?
Hopefully I can come back and visit them again. And I cannot wait to go back to Disneyland with Asia too. Shout out to our patrons on Patreon, Embro Comics, Nadir, Javier Mendez, Justin R. Williams, and Nico Weaver. If you want to join the fun and support this channel, we're at patreon.com/bubblegumcartoons. Fan art of the week goes to Glowing Blush from our Discord server. I love this. She drew Sophie and she is adorable. I love all the attention you gave to the ruffles in her apron and her sleeves, and of course all the little lacy details of her petticoat. I love it. You did an awesome job. I love how you also included her purple eyes. So this is amazing. You're amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your artwork with us. And until next time, guys, stay inspired.